Good afternoon and welcome to Biz Talk. I am so excited. This is our initial show on our new Roku channel. We have an amazing guest with us today. I'm sure you are really going to enjoy our top 10 interview with the Rev Sharron Medley. She is a licensed Universal Foundation Better Living teacher and ordained minister. And she attended Chicago State University and is currently working on her bachelor's in metaphysical sciences from the University of Metaphysics. We definitely got to dig into that a little. So without any further ado, let's bring in the Reverend Sharron Medley.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
Do you prefer Reverend Medley or Sharron?
You could people call me Reverend Medley. Most call me Reverend Sharron, or you could just call me Sharron.
Reverend Sharron. I definitely like to give people the respect. You went to school, you worked hard, and that's your calling. So
yes, it is.
It is a beautiful thing to be walking in our calling. So tell us a little bit about your background and what you do. And we want to hear about the whole metaphysics. And then we're going to get into talking about what you do.
Okay. Well, you know what? I came into ministry kicking and screaming. I can't lie. I didn't think that was the path, but Spirit had another way. And so I started studying back in the year 2000. I was originally ordained in 2004 and reordained actually earlier this year with the Universal Foundation for Better Living. I have a background in IT. I ran an IT department for a communications company and also in insurance. I'm a salesperson. I trained people to take the Illinois State Insurance exam and then taught them how to actually sell needs-based insurance. And so, so I'm a teacher, minister, speaker, author, and a spiritual life coach.
In other words, you're a Black woman.
That's right. Exactly. We wear a lot of hats, don't we?
We absolutely do. And be able to move in excellence as you do is amazing. So tell me a little bit about the metaphysics, and then we're going to get into the business side and your book and your program and all of that.
Okay. Metaphysics is the study of what is beyond the physical. Each of us, and metaphysics is a term that is used to define a wide range of topics concerning, God, the world, and our seeming problems. Metaphysics takes us beyond the literal and helps us to understand spiritual principles so that we can apply them in our everyday life and help ourselves be uplifted, empowered, and transformed. Metaphysics is not new. I mean, that's what, the movie The Secret, that's exactly what they were talking about, looking at life from a metaphysical viewpoint that takes us beyond what we see with our physical eyes. And so that's what metaphysics is basically about.
I love it. And we are in a metaphysical world. So I could literally have a whole conversation just around that. Now, let's talk about the book, and then let's talk about how people can reach you and what you're doing right now as far as helping people in their journey.
Okay. Back in 2019, I was involved in a compilation. It was a book compilation with a wonderful woman by the name of Felicia Shakespeare. And the book was about going from fear to fearlessness, right? It's a woman of purpose going beyond fear to fearlessness. And in it, I talked about part of my journey to ministry that had a profound effect on me. You know, as you said earlier, all of us are under a call, right? We each have a call. And when we are called, there are specific moments that we can pinpoint where it was strong and active. And that's one of the things I talked about in the book. It's 14 memoirs of women going from living a fearful life to allowing that power within us to lead and guide us and moving on into the life that we're supposed to live on a daily basis. And it was just absolutely wonderful.
Well, that definitely sounds like an awesome project, and we will let our listeners know how to connect with that project. So, where do they find that at?
You know, the book is available on Amazon. I can provide you with a link where they can purchase the book. It's actually called A Purpose Driven Woman Moving from Fearlessness to Faith. And it's amazing. I'll send you the link where people can purchase the book, and it can also be purchased on Amazon.
Well, we will definitely connect people with the book because it sounds like it's definitely something that every woman and every person needs to read.
Yes. Yeah, it's amazing.
So, tell us about your business.
Uh, Ren- Renata, my business is called Spiritual Lifesavers Incorporated. And I incorporated Spiritual Lifesavers in 2019, but the business, I've been working as a spiritual life coach since 2018. And it came about because a friend of mine, a very, very dear friend of mine, needed some assistance, right? She was getting ready to get married. She had been married before and she wanted help. And so she asked me to not only counsel as a minister, but to coach she and her new love so that they could have the beginnings of a wonderful life together. And I'm happy to say that they are still together to this day. And she told me at that time, she said, "This is your calling. Your helping us has really helped us to understand how we can live a healthy, happy, and prosperous life." And she began to refer people to me on a regular basis. One person in particular, we never met in person. We spoke on the phone and she would drive to my house and leave money in my mailbox. Okay. Based on that, I decided that it was time to take things further, to take them well beyond just preaching in the pulpit, right? Teaching Bible study, because you can only give so much from that platform, but actually working with people on a day to day basis. And so I work with the fruit of the Spirit. And that's what my spiritual coaching business is based on, helping individuals to understand how to apply those character building blocks in the fruit of the Spirit to help them to focus on characteristics that will help them to change their lives for the better.
That's awesome. So we know that this is a quick introduction to who you are, but before you leave,
Uh-huh.
okay, if there's one fruit of the spirit that you want to share with us, that you share in your counseling, uh, please share with us before we leave.
You know what, Renata? I tell my students and I tell my Facebook group that I had issues with temperance, and temperance is self control. Okay. Being able to work with people, you know, in corporate America, allowing everyone to have a place to play, allowing people to give their opinions, and, you know, which actually help you. But I was one of those my way or the highway women at that time, standing on my 2 feet, which may not have always been spiritual, right? But temperance was one thing that I had to work with, which is self control. And I'm here to say that I'm oh so much better at it now than I used to be.
Okay, so give us one tip on how to live a more life that's full of temperance.
You know what? We can stop. You know how they used to teach us as kids, stop, look, listen? It's the same thing in everyday living. When we become upset, if we become fearful, if someone says something to us that we don't particularly care for, instead of giving them a piece of our mind, we need to stop, we need to listen, and we need to allow their opinion to be heard. And we need to actively listen, because most of the time we're not actively listening. Right? We need to allow them to voice their opinion, and we need to calm ourselves so that we are calm, cool, and collected no matter what. Because our role is to express that power within us by controlling our thinking, our feeling, our words, our actions and behaviors, and our reactions. And when we can do that temperantely, we live a better life. We live so much better. Yeah.
I
And
love it.
that,
I
thank you,
love
my
it.
friend.
Stop,
Thank you.
look, and listen. And I
That's
think that's a
right.
perfect way to end this quick interview.
Hmm.
Thank you for being here today. I love the insight into your life. I wish you every success in the future.
Thank you, Renata. And thank you for having me here today. It has been such a pleasure to be here on Dreams with Dreamspire. Thank you so much for all that you do.
You are welcome. Hey, so we did a quick 10. We got to know Reverend Sharron for a few minutes. And listen, she gave us some keys to temperance. Stop, look, and listen. We hope that you stop, that you look, and you listen to this interview and continue with us with our next interviews that are coming up on BizConnect. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm Renata Ray. You have a pleasant day, evening, wherever you might find yourself.